I let my MIL think the wedding venue was my idea. My fiance Evan warned me about his mother before I ever met her. She's not evil, he said. She just needs to feel in control or she spirals. I didn't understand what he meant until we got engaged. The night Evan proposed, his mother Marlene called within the hour. Congratulations became suggestions. Suggestions became demands. By the end of that first call, she'd already picked out 3 venues, 2 caterers, and a florist who owed her a favor. I told Evan I wanted to plan our own wedding. He looked at me like I'd suggested we elope to Mars. You don't know what she's like when she doesn't get her way, he said. She destroyed my cousin's wedding, made the bride cry during the reception speech. I said I could handle her. He just shook his head. The first venue visit, Marlene showed up uninvited. She walked through the garden space I loved and announced it smelled like fertilizer and disappointment. The second venue, she called the coordinator directly and canceled our appointment because she found somewhere better. The third venue was her choice, a country club where she'd been a member for 15 years. She knew the staff by name. She knew where every photo would be taken. She knew exactly how her son's wedding would look in this space because she'd been planning it since he was born. Evan squeezed my hand as we walked through. His eyes were apologetic. His mother was already discussing centerpiece placement with the event manager. I hated it. The walls were beige, the lighting was harsh, the whole place smelled like old money and control issues. But I smiled, nodded along, asked questions about parking and capacity like I was genuinely interested. Marlene beamed at me for the first time since we'd met. Finally, she said. Someone with taste. That night, Evan asked if I was really okay with it. I told him I had a plan. See, I'd done my research on Marlene. Evan's aunt told me everything over wine at the engagement party. Marlene's first wedding had been at this exact country club. She'd married Evan's father there 28 years ago. The marriage lasted 4 years. The divorce was brutal. She lost the house, the car, and most of her dignity when Evan's father left her for his secretary. She hadn't set foot in that country club since the divorce was finalized. Until now. I let her push the venue, let her book it, let her put down the deposit with her own credit card because she insisted. 3 weeks before the wedding, I asked Marlene to meet me there for a final walkthrough. She agreed immediately. Probably thought I was finally accepting her as the true wedding planner. We walked through the ballroom together. She pointed out where the head table should go, where the band would set up, where her ex-husband had given his toast at their reception 30 years ago. She stopped talking. I watched her face change, the confidence cracking, the memories flooding back. This is where he told everyone I was the love of his life, she whispered. 6 months later, he was sleeping with his assistant. I didn't say anything. Just let the silence sit. Marlene turned to me with wet eyes. Why did you let me pick this place? Because you needed to remember, I said calmly. You've been trying to control this wedding because you couldn't control what happened to yours. But Evan isn't his father. And I'm not going to let you sabotage our marriage because you're still angry about yours. She stared at me for a long moment. I expected screaming, threats, the Marlene that Evan had warned me about. Instead, she sat down on one of the ceremony chairs and started crying. I sat next to her, didn't touch her, just waited. She talked for 2 hours. About the affair, the humiliation, how she'd spent 3 decades trying to prove she wasn't the broken woman her ex-husband left behind. When she finally stopped, she looked at me differently, like she was seeing me for the first time. You're smarter than I gave you credit for. I know. We moved the wedding to the garden venue, the one that smelled like fertilizer. Marlene paid for the upgraded flower package as an apology. She still tries to control things sometimes, but now when she starts, I just say, remember the country club, and she backs off immediately. Evan asked me once how I fixed his mother. I told him I didn't fix her. I just made her face the thing she'd been running from. He stared at me for a long time. Then he said, remind me to never make you angry.